Welcome back to Dark Nexus. Tonight, it's Act 4, Chapter 153. Picking up, still, the 23rd day of Farast, 4719. We're in Dabwick's apartment, and Pandora has just reincarnated Barnabas. Barnabas, now in this completely unfamiliar body. Give me knowledge local checks. Let's see if you recognize what the heck this is. Oh no, knowledge planes. Give me a knowledge planes check. Katie's gonna like that.
31.
39.
The two of you recognize the body that Barnabas's soul now inhabits. Barnabas is now a sylph.
Amazing.
Descended from humans and beings of elemental air. So this very tall, pale, thin, delicate, skinny body looks close enough to human that she could pass, but the height is a little weird. And of course, the intense blue sigil-like markings all over the body, also a little weird. And as you're watching, as her eyes open on the ground now, her hair begins to rustle on the floor as if blown by unseen breezes.
Is she blue or her skin has blue?
Her skin has blue markings. So Barnabas opens her eyes, and she is in the same, of course, state as we last saw him when he was sitting in his previous body. When you reach down to take her hands, she sits up, mutters a little under her breath. So you find that Barnabas is alive, but the sacrifice that Barnabas made has persisted. This is a vessel with no experience that has not yet fully wakened to full consciousness.
Is she wakening? Or is this as good as it gets? Is there a check to be made about that?
I don't think there's a check to be made. And as Chester and J-Dove help get this new body situated on the cot again.
Get her a green robe, won't you?
Yes.
You seem to be silly with them.
Oh, no, they got those special from the Druids for you all. But since you just took yours off,
Yes.
they will give...
Perhaps Grips, since she is
so
very,
tall.
very tall.
Yes, it'll be comfy, kind of like a giant blanket. This is indeed how Barnabas has been for the past 2 months. So how did you wake? Stasi just said you all just woke up out of this. That there was apparently some period where you were near catatonic at the asylum, but then how did you wake?
There was a voice.
We were almost summoned out of our catatonia.
Or implanted with a suggestion.
And it's been 1,000 years, but now able to parse those first moments of waking slightly differently.
Yeah.
Of course, you now understand that those voices you were hearing, like screaming this idea in your head, was yourself, or another version of yourself. But there was also a sensation of being vigorously shaken awake. And when you opened your eyes in those cells in the basement of Briarstone Asylum, there was nobody there. Something shook you awake.
Pandora, at least, felt as though we were woken by Gulliver screaming, "Wake up, save me." Now knows that wasn't him at all. It was this prisoner through this
Connection,
this link.
Interesting.
Believes that, at least.
I think Pandora processes this as two memories. Perhaps the prisoner trying to piggyback on something that worked
was really
before.
happening.
They seemed to wake when someone yelled, "Wake up, save me." and maybe this alien mind is trying to close some circles, repeat some loops, see if they can get you moving. And, also, it's been 150 chapters of, once a year me popping in with some details about a bell ringing, and of course, which meant nothing to you for so long, but the times when it was able to almost communicate with you or to dig up and dredge up memories from you was not from your conscious brain, but from your subconscious brain when you were close to or inside the dimension of dreams. That it has some ability to see those things in a way that makes literally no sense to any of you because it's not how you experience the world. But perhaps the subconscious mind is just another dimension that it can see into, just as easily as you can see the physical world or experience time. So perhaps it's then only a matter of time. We have assumed that interacting and getting them moving and, of course, keeping the body healthy, but trying to engage the mind would only be a good thing.
Forming new experiences.
Yes, and in the hopes that would perhaps trigger some sort of awakening, but...
I might suggest that an awakening may not be the desired goal, but rather a rebirth into something new. A new life built upon new ambitions. Barnabas lived a life of great pain and suffering, and chose to relieve himself of it. But now he has chosen differently. This is possibility.
And if I understand anything about the spell you just cast, it was a choice he made.
Indeed.
All right, well, our promise stands. We will continue to care for Barnabas as long as we must.
What is the age difference between the new body of Barnabas as the sylph and Chester and J-Dove?
So the reincarnation spell creates a young adult body, which in the case of sylphs, it has created a body almost identical in age to Chester and J-Dove, except of course seems youthful. Reads to you like basically a 20-year-old, even though it would be effectively a 60-year-old body. So it's slightly older than the two of them even.
So then this body will live, barring harm or injury or disease,
possibly another 60 or more years.
A whole other lifetime.
Yes. And will age very slowly from this point. All right. Everybody's awake. Everybody's on their feet. We've gotten rid of the demon problem for the moment. And we've addressed the Barnabas tragedy for the moment. I think this is the first time now that all four of you have been awake in a room with Chester and J-Dove. We can assume that the basics of the story that Dabwick heard from Chester, that those basics have been passed on to everybody. But there are conversations to be had about what has happened, what is happening, that we can probably turn our attention to now at this point.
Is following Lowell still the thing we need to do?
We've lost so much time, but we cannot allow him to get that book.
I feel like he's still the primary lead, right, of what we need to try. If we're going to try to do anything to stop what's happening, I feel like he's the thread we need to pull on.
And I think we begin to pull it by finding Stasi and Stanhope.
And the elf.
Yes, this elf.
Is it worth?
A sweaty elf.
Is it worth checking on this boat?
The Lowell's boat.
Yeah.
The Aurora, is that it?
It was Lowell's yacht, the Aurora.
And they came back from that freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, the story in brief was Aurora docked, Lowell's got off by himself. Nobody else left the boat for over a day. And then people observed some crew members slinking off the next night, while then the boat was taken out to what was called the Dog's Teeth, which Dabwick can fill you in on. Casimir is built around a very large natural harbor. Just outside of this, out in the ocean, out in Star Bay, there is a long series of jagged, rocky islands and reefs that has essentially become kind of a de facto district of the city. It's basically where the smugglers and the black market and people who want to stay out of the eyes of the watch live. But it's an area where you don't take your ship in because it's super, super dangerous and super, super rocky and very, very shallow. The Aurora was seen anchored out somewhere in there for a few days. Then there was this big storm, and then it was gone. And then we know Stasi at some point went to it maybe with Stanhope and this elf or whatever, but came back saying, whatever you do, don't go down there and don't get anybody interested in it. Play it cool. It's been scuttled. It's a total loss. The pirates already got to it. Nothing to see here.
All of which is a lie.
Bash is going to look at everybody and then kind of glance over at Chester and J-Dove.
Yeah.
And go,
Is this a conversation that we want to have right now?
No. Do they, unless they have any information about how we might find Stasi and Stanhope, because we might be able to get the real story from them.
No, Stasi told me that you would have means of finding her, contacting her. Do you need us to leave? We can walk Barnabas over to our flat if you want some time here.
That might be best.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your help.
And also, maybe a different name for Barnabas, since this is maybe a rebirth.
Oh.
Maybe
One would hope that...
Reyna.
Or maybe Persephone.
Yes.
Persephone. All right. So they head out, and Dabwick knows that J-Dove's flat is just down the hill a ways. They're only about effectively, 4 or 5 minutes away. It's a close. If you need to get them, they are nearby.
Dora will still use a telepathic bond to join the remaining people, just so that we
So you're
don't
not
have to
speaking
talk
out loud? Yes. And you would, so you are in an apartment building.
Yeah.
So Dabwick's flat is on the first floor. They have a neighbor right next door. They have 2 or 3, let's say it's a 3-story. It's a 3-story building, so a total of 6 units. And, you're hearing the sound of life all around you. There's kids in the
did anybody come
upstairs.
knocking on the door after hearing the sounds of a...
It was so quick. It effectively happened in 12 seconds in the 1 hour of time it took to go through this reincarnation ritual. What's your next door neighbor's name, Paul? Let me pull that list
I was
up.
just pulling that document up. Tess Underleaf.
Is she human or is she halfling?
She's halfling.
She's halfling. This is older, very kindly looking halfling lady with well-worn, wrinkly hands. The hands of a laundry worker would have certainly popped over at some point. Easy to sort of assure her that everything is fine. There would have been hugs going all around. She would be very excited to see that Dabwick is back. I think back in town is the way she phrases it. As though perhaps, yeah. So I think J-Dove and Chester were not bandying about everyone's in here asleep for the last 2 months, right?
Right.
That they were watching the flat while you were out of town.
Right.
But yeah, there is the sound of life around you, so slipping into a telepathic bond. On the off chance that you say a certain name aloud, makes a ton of sense to me. And you would notice, so 2 more months have gone by in your body, but the progression of your seed-born infestation feels like exactly where you last left it. if there's any small blessing to
Yeah.
having been out that time,
We didn't
you
have
were
to make
detached
those
from
saves.
Jamandora during that whole period of time. So the fungus growing in your mind seemed to have been just
A little 2-month hiatus.
a little 2-month hiatus.
Stasis.
So
Just like Nergal couldn't pinpoint us until we woke up again.
Exactly. Yeah. So the illness is still progressing. You're still on this clock, but you had a little pause button.
Nice.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would have been a lot of charisma damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dabs, you got anything to eat in this place?
Yes, let's check the stores and see what's here.
Dora's gonna go off by herself to meditate for a little bit.
All right. The pantry is well stocked with anything Dabik would have around here. Brother Bennon's brown ale, perhaps.
Totally. Yeah.
Some eel pies,
Some leftover eel pies
some root mousse.
from 6 months ago.
No, it's fresh root mousse
fresh.
and eel pies.
Jelly deal.
Do you have any gar? I developed a taste for gar.
So so Pandora's going off to meditate.
Yep.
Is that flavor meditation or mechanical
Mechanical
meditation?
meditation.
Curious. It's like I don't even know who she is anymore.
Is she?
While Pandora is doing this, and Bash and Grip, I'm getting used to saying these names. Bash and Grip are tending to getting some food in these bodies. This is nearing. It's nearing the hour that Dabwick would be meditating as well. This would be Dabwick's first period of meditation, first ability to get new spells since waking up. After 2 months of not doing this, after 2 months of their mind spent on that plane of existence where there is no connection to the city and to nature, is there anything in particular that Dabwick is meditating on?
Well, at the opportunity, Dabwick excuses himself excitedly and runs into the dead-end alley around the corner from their apartment in the shadow of Greyguard, a place they've passed dozens of times without looking twice, but they know it's there. The alley is narrow and dark, hemmed in by ancient stone walls and rusted ironwork, a forgotten corner. It's perfect. It's a little piece of solitude, finally, after months and months and months on that boat. So these cracked bricks are underfoot. There's mildew creeping up on the mortar, the faint smell of salt and rot from nearby sewer grates. Dabwick hops onto a lone stone ledge near a boarded-up shop front. Dabwick's mood is unsettled. Restless thoughts chase each other like cats in their head. As they swing their legs idly over the edge, they notice a sprig of green, 2 slender leaves pushing up between the cracks in the cobblestones. A weed, likely, but it's doing something no one asked it to. It's living. They lean in closer. The roots have twisted between the stones, clinging tight. No rain today. Very little sunlight yet. Still, it grows. Their fingers twitch, itching to name the sprout. Green root. No. Slickenweed. No, too narrow. They remember, unbidden, Ashgrove's voice. The druid, flat, clipped and exacting. The name of a thing is not the thing, but names give shape to what we see. They remember sitting on a damp floor in Ashgrove's shop, hunched over a pile of dried leaves and moss samples, trying to speak Druidic without stumbling. Ashgrove had given nothing, no encouragement, no softness, just corrections. Dabwick had cried once, quietly, didn't let him see. But they'd return the next day, always returned, until they didn't. Looking back down at the weed. No, plant, they remind themselves. They feel a slow warmth stir in their chest, something about the way it grows, without permission, without applause. Ashgrove taught them the language of the green, but he never explained it, not really. Dabwick is still figuring that part out. They whisper, to no one in particular, "Even where stone is laid thick, the understanding finds a voice." They press a fingertip to the little plant gently, a gesture of recognition. Then they reach into their pouch and take out a seed of their own, one they've carried since Thrushmore, and wedge it into another crack along the alley floor. Tomorrow, someone will step on it, or maybe it will grow. Either way, the green will try, and so will they.
Nice.
Very beautiful.
Grip's got a thought.
Yeah.
If this is an okay time for it, while Dabwick scoots off to do their meditation and
Pandora's doing something.
Pandora is off doing her own thing. Grip and Bash have had some food in them, and I think Grip lights his pipe. He sits back and he's looking at Bash. And he says, "Bash, is it?"
Yeah.
He sits there for another minute, takes another couple puffs.
I think that we are very comfortable sitting here in sort of silence, like pushing food around on the plate kind of thing, and just drinking a little water or whatever Dabs had in their larder kind of thing.
This is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. You've gone by a few different names now, right?
Yeah.
Every time there's someone seeming new looking out of those eyes back at me, we start to learn other things about where we've been and where we've come from, and all of these different people, Gull even, Roni and Vic, they all sort of slotted into those memories that started to get revealed to us, right?
Yeah.
So who the fuck is Bash to me? Because those memories don't have Bash. They got Vic and they got Roni and sort of Gull, although Gull was sort of a facade anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But Bash and Rip Tusk don't have history. So who are you to me?
I guess we'll have to figure that out together.
Suppose we will.
But that's not any different than any other day.
No, that's a fact.
Friendship isn't a thing set in stone. It's a thing you consciously decide to work on moment after moment, day after day.
It's not a subject I know much about, but I think that sounds true.
I think you know more about it than you let on.
Maybe. Blows a smoke ring.
How you feeling?
Feeling like we need to get a move on, right? We got promises to keep and some shite to clean up, don't we?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the other room, Pandora is doing something. What's she doing? What's going on?
She's trying to bring peace and quiet to her mind. And after some time, through deep breathing, she eventually gets there and allows her mind to turn to the problem of Stasi said we'd know how to find her. And so she just opens herself to the idea that that knowledge is out there. She can access it. She trusts Stasi to have said a true thing. And an emotion creeps in, and a thought creeps in, and these two things together make something else happen. So she starts feeling, kind of unbidden, a deep sense of like a sudden loneliness, an understanding of having been abandoned. And she knows that she is a very young boy who has been brought to a place of study and learning and research. She is a prodigy, and she has been brought here to build upon that promise. He has been brought here to build upon that promise. No, he. And he's scared. And he looks for his mother and understands that they have left him here. And they are not coming back. And then her senses open up and she casts the spell Locate Creature, which is a 4th level wizard spell. And she thinks of Stasi. The image bleeding from the boy's mother, who is very clear in her mind, into the image of Stasi, who is very clear in Pandora's mind.
The spell locates a known creature. You slowly turn and sense when you are facing in the direction of the creature to be located, provided it is within range. And you know in which direction the creature is moving, if any. What is the range of this spell for Pandora?
It is long, but that's not really a lot. She knows that. So it's 400 feet plus 400 feet per level.
40 feet.
40 feet per level, so that's 800 feet.
800 feet. So feeling this sense of abandonment that this boy feels, Pandora turns herself around in this room, casting a spell she literally did not know before she began this meditation, and she senses no Stasi. Not within 800 feet of her.
Her eyes open. She looks around.
Dabwick? Has Dabwick returned?
And here comes Dabs.
I believe you must scry to find Stasi.
Right.
We'd be better off trying to find Stanhope. He's going to be easier.
Oh, because the will save.
That's right.
Right.
Presuming they are still together.
I'm prepared.
Can you use the hat?
The hat would work. Yes,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Dabwick has never had the ability to scry while they have been in Casimir.
Right.
Where does Dabwick go
get
to do
water.
this? So there would be an abundance of
Sewers.
wells. There would be like a sewer tunnel familiar to you where you could go down there. Maybe one familiar to you from your days with what was her name, Old Mum. You could also, of course, go down to the harbor on the interior of the city, or down to the bay. That would function as well. Let me take you to a Casimir map and start to slowly get you all.
Let's take a look at a map.
Can I say two things? One, are we still fatigued?
No.
So the fatigue has gone away now that we've woken up.
Over the course of this afternoon, the
Okay.
fatigue has gone away.
Great. And then also over the course of this afternoon, I would have mixed up some extracts.
Great. All right, everybody on this map of Casimir?
Yeah.
Glorious. Glorious.
Love it.
Oh, this is so great.
I love it.
So while we take a little stroll to wherever Dabs wants to do some scrying, we can, of course, continue any pre-scrying conversation we wish to have. But can you see Dabwick's flat up in Greyguard's shadow? Now, the big thing to remember about this map is it is so wildly not to scale, it's almost ludicrous.
Right.
This is a huge city of over 35,000 people. This map depicts a number of houses that would hold maybe 500 or 600. Yeah. So you gotta blow this out.
Every building is really like 100 buildings.
Yes, and every district is miles and miles long. To walk around the harbor from Greyguard's shadow through the Imperial Naval shipyards over to Abbey Green, through crowds and streets and the mud of the fen, and through, twisty, windy alleyways in both the fen and Quickfall Abbey, it would take you several hours. This is a big, big city. You all have not seen anything quite like this before. Greyguard's castle is looming above Dabwick's flat, and that is a truly massive, walled, fortified, old-school, medieval European castle-looking thing with gigantic walls on top of this hill. All the way across the harbor, you can see another walled section of town, Old Casimir, the old section of the city, is also walled in, but that's like an entire district, also on top of a big, steep rise and plateau. Those two tall rises descend down to sea level as they follow this natural harbor around, and the neighborhood of Admiral's Fen is half underwater. I think I described the buildings there looking like they were cockroaches scrambling for cover. Like there are dry patches, and there are places where there are a whole bunch of buildings that are doing well, but then you also see like blocks and blocks and blocks of houses from maybe 50 years ago that had to be abandoned at some point because the water came in and rose too high. At this time of night, like around nightfall, Old Casimir on top of the opposite hill, the North Hill, would be well lit up. The neighborhood of Three Gates, which is north of Abbey Green, on the outside of Old Casimir, is also brilliantly lit up, as though there's a lot of money and a lot of commerce happening over there. But Abbey Green seems pretty quiet, and Admiral's Fen seems pretty quiet. A lot of activity here in Greyguard's Shadow. There's just a lot of working class folks and a lot of working class businesses still operating. So it's, blacksmiths and cobblers and horseshoers and all that great stuff.
I love picturing the start of this book as like the first 2 episodes or whatever. Everything's inside Dabwick's cramped little flat.
Yes.
Everyone's crying. Everyone's emotions are fine. We fight this thing. We reincarnate Barnabas all in this small cramped room. And then I can just picture the doors opening and the camera just spanning over Casimir and all and the crowds, and it's beautiful.
Fantastic. Where do you think you take them, Polly?
Well, I was looking at Danvers Pie Shop, but it's so far away. Let's find a...
It's an hour walk down the hill. You can get there. It's enough time to have a conversation as you're heading down there.
We could certainly use the legs stretch.
Yes, maybe this is also the last lingering remnants of that fatigued condition wearing off as you're continuing to work those muscles.
Yeah. Well, let's walk down to Danvers Pies, which is near the Imperial Shipyards.
Yeah. And, oh my gosh, you all, so the 3 of you, now, you're surrounded by people you've never seen before, have no idea who you are. They're just living their lives in complete obliviousness to everything you've gone through, as opposed to everywhere you've ever been yet. You're surrounded by a small number of people, either who know you or who are deeply being affected by what's going on. And it's just thousands of stories happening around you.
Freedom of anonymity.
Yes, I'm sure that's what you're...
in heaven and can't stop looking at the faces, and
Dabwick is
experiencing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dabwick is walking backwards and talking excitedly basically levitating through the streets to show their friends.
Questions. What is that place? Who is that? Do you know that place? Have you seen? She's so into this tour.
We've been in Dilathleen, so we have been in a big city, but this has got to feel...
But we went sightseeing when we did that.
That's true.
Excited.
But this has got to feel so different because of the just knowing that it's
real.
The material plane.
Yeah. And
this is
Dabs' home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is probably the first walk that Dabwick takes most mornings down to the pie shop to get a pea pie to start the day. And so this is everybody. You know who lives there. You know that business. People are, saying hi, waving hello. You know all the animals. You know all of the... Oh, and I'm sure you're probably pointing out all the where the weeds have grown up at the corner of this house because nobody's taking care of it.
Look at that. Look at what's changed.
And as we walk around and are looking at all of these things, in his head, Bash sees an overlap with Dilathleen and all the places that he walked around in this sort of lower class areas of Dilathleen.
Yeah.
And every time he sees a parent with their kid doing something, he's having images flickering through his head.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Pandora remembers decades spent as a shut-in. No interest or curiosity about the outside world.
Yeah.
And she can't fathom it. Look at all the stories out here. It's overwhelming.
She spent 37 years in the basement of Humbrecht University.
Yeah. Yeah.
Down the hill we go, and Danvers Pies is right there on the edge of the edge of the fen, edge of Greyguard's shadow, edge of the Imperial Naval shipyards, and all of the folks working in dry dock, working on repairing all of the ships that are raised out of the waters, are all getting off work for the day, and it's so many halflings, y'all. That seems to be the majority of the workforce down in that part of the shipyards. And the Imperial Naval Shipyards is written on our map as if it's just a little... That is the name of this entire district. So it just stretches out as far as you can see. Halflings and humans coming off of work for the day. A ton of dwarves, too.
This whole area is run by a gnome named Ethan Baylor, and I know him. If we need to find out anything that happened.
What did they tell us? The senator. Doldmain?
Yes. You got a reward waiting for you at the
That's right.
vault of
Where is that?
Abadar. That's in Greyguard's castle. Right up the hill from Dabbock's flat, so you can...
Oh,
When
good,
we're
because I
ready
was
to go
assuming
shopping.
we'd have to find a way to break in there at some point, so it'd be good to do some reconnaissance.
They would be closed for the day, but you could certainly go there first thing in the morning.
But I do know people who work down at the docks, and so when we're ready to investigate what happened to you-know-who and their ship, we have some people I can talk to.
I hope we can speak to Stasi first.
Right. Let's go down to the water.
All right, so down, you find a nice little tucked-in cove in this massive natural harbor. A little spot with a couple of benches that I can picture Dabwick having taken their pea pies down to sit and look out over the water before they began their rounds for the day. A nice little isolated spot with a smallish natural pool off this natural harbor. And you cast Scry.
Scribe.
And we're going to try to scry Stanhope with a low will save, or Stasi with probably a cataclysmically high will save.
We'll try to
Stanhope, for sure.
try to scry Stanhope, and we'll use the hat as a tool.
So for an hour, you all hang out and just watch the sights of ships coming in and out of the harbor and neighborhoods behind you, either businesses shutting down for the day, or taverns and other kinds of businesses just getting started for the day.
You all get tired of hearing Grip let out just heavy sighs every time a boat goes by.
And just out of curiosity, since we have time to wait,
Yeah.
Dora casts Locate Creature again, but this time on the Shagath demon,
Yes.
and turns in a circle.
800 feet, no Shahath demon.
Great.
Oh my god. I just get to drop him in whenever I feel like
Yep.
it. I love it.
I'm
Good
gonna
for you.
try.
I know, you're going to try to
I'm
catch me
gonna
at one point. And after an hour, as this magical energy is building up, following 60 minutes of prayer and meditation, as you see the mists begin to come together on this little natural pool on the edge of the Star Bay, the spell fails.
I'm sorry.
Do we know if that is because of a successful will save, or are there other... We've done it enough now. What do we know that
Sure.
can cause that to happen?
Dabwick knows no save was made.
So there might be a non-detection effect.
The likeliest thing that Dabwick can think of is either some kind of warding, or that person does not exist.
Oh boy.
So some kind of warding, most.
What about is there a planar limitation to scrying?
If the subject is on another plane, it gets a +5 bonus on its will save.
But no save was made.
Interesting.
Do we know of a place where they might go, where they would be non-detectable? Why would she say we'd know how to find her?
Well, I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Stasi watched you multiple times use the scry spell on the edge of the ship. She was there. She's seen
That's
it.
what
She
she was
knows.
thinking
She
of.
knows you can do it.
So we might have to try her.
So that would have been her expectation, is that
They'll just do that because they
Yeah.
do it all the time, and Dabwick is very good at it. You know what? This gives me an idea, though. This is not exactly what you asked, but depending on what you roll when I ask you this question, I think it might come to mind. Those of you that are able to, please give me a Knowledge Arcana check.
33.
25.
All right, so Bash does not know this. I'm doing a little bit of feeding here because there's a lot of things to remind you have not
Yeah.
yet made checks on. So I'm going to give you this, and I
okay,
think you'll
thank
see
you.
why when I get to the end of this. So as this spell is winding up, and you've had time to sit and look out at the harbor, and you're coming back into yourselves in the waking world, Pandora, like the back of her brain is tickled a little bit as Dabwick is puzzling through. Like, it just seems like the spell didn't work, like they're warded or guarded. And the idea of being warded against divination, like what? So she starts thinking, like, what's a place? Do I know a...
Yeah.
But wait a minute. What do I know about the Necronomicon? What even is it? Which we have not been awake since that name was first dropped into this campaign. And it
Is that
does
true?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've not been awake. So let me tell you, Katie, what Pandora does know about the Necronomicon.
Shocker that she would know about a book.
Yes, exactly. It makes total sense. So this blasphemous tome, containing hundreds upon hundreds of pages of dread truths about the Dark Tapestry and the Elder Mythos, was supposedly written on another planet entirely by a man named Abdul Alhazred, about whom there are countless stories and legends, none of which can be verified or proven. Whatever happened to the man himself, the world would say shrug ? But you may have an idea. It is known that his book, the Necronomicon, made its way into the Dreamlands, or at least the dream of it did. And some say that ever since the Necronomicon found its way into the Dreamlands, every planet in the universe that supports life forms able to dream has had a copy of the tome make its way there. Someone will dream of finding it in the Dreamlands, and then will be unable to stop dreaming of reading it night after night. And then every day in the real world, they will transcribe what they have seen and what they have learned. And eventually, on every planet, this lone dreamer will skin people alive to make a new cover, pour their soul into the wards and bindings, and then a new Necronomicon is born, one for every world. And thus, its truths find their way into new civilizations, and its madness spreads on and on and on. Golarian's copy of the Necronomicon was translated into Necrol, and was made as a gift for Tar Baphon, the Whispering Tyrant, 1,000 years ago. It was created by a necromancer named Geyer, long believed to have been destroyed in the Shining Crusade, probably erroneously because he became a demi-lich. But the paladins who thought they'd put him down permanently, they took possession of the book and sent it far away to the city of Zamar, a major Taldoran stronghold on the border with Qadira. Let me take you to a region map here. Is everybody on a map of the Inner Sea region?
Yes.
So everybody see Casimir up there? Down to the bottom right, the southeast of our map, over on the continent of Casmaran, is the Empire of Qadira. And then this river right here that I'm pinging, that separates Taldor from Qadira. And I don't have Zamar on the map, but it's basically located right here where I'm pinging now.
So it straddles the border.
It straddles the border, yes. It was made on the Taldor side, but it's one of those cities that has changed hands countless times over the centuries. So the book was sent to the city of Zamar while Taldor held it. And of course, unfortunately, the scholars in Zamar attempted to figure out what it was. This proved to be challenging for several reasons. They quickly learned that the Necronomicon's wards were unlike any they'd ever encountered. Number one, it is divination proof. any attempt to use any type of divination magic to learn about it, to determine its location, to view it or any part of it, or anyone simply possessing it, not only automatically fails, but most who attempt to do so are instantly driven mad. Number 2, it is teleportation proof. Any attempt to use teleportation magic to change the book's location in space results in the book being left behind and the spellcaster ending up, shrug, at some unknown location. At least everyone who's ever tried teleporting it was never seen again, and definitely not at the spot they intended to travel to. And number 3, it cannot be destroyed by any verifiable method. There are some who believe that finding and destroying Abdul al-Hazred might possibly allow for the book to be damaged, but that any damage taken by the book would absolutely draw the direct attention of Nyarlathotep, the crawling chaos, who is its muse.
Great.
So, divination proof, teleportation proof, and destruction proof.
Question.
Yes.
What if that book plate that we found in book 2 were to be used on the Necronomicon?
It's teleportation proof.
Yeah, it's teleportation proof. It would not work.
But would it blip the person whose name is on the bookmark to shrug?
Oh boy, I don't
Maybe.
think she knows. It might.
But let's try.
Not gonna try.
So unable to divine information about it, unable to destroy it, one of the scholars, of course, read it. That's how all these stories go, right? And by the time he was done, he was unrecognizable to his colleagues. This quiet, gentle, devout servant of Shaylin had become an insane worshiper of Nyarlathotep, who murdered dozens of innocent people before the paladins could put him down and stop his reign of terror. No one knew what to do with the book, so they put it in a secure vault and decided to deal with it once the Shining Crusade was over. However, by the time that happened, the few who had known of it were dead, and over time, the Necronomicon was forgotten. 300 years later, Kadira and Taldor were at war, and the city of Zamar was captured and sacked by Kadira. Whatever happened next to the Necronomicon likely happened then, around 4079 AR, so 700 odd years ago. Treasures of all kinds, great works of art, weaponry, and books were liberated from the city and sent south. So where exactly the Necronomicon ended up is not a known fact, but certain scholars, like Myacnean Mun, have spent lifetimes attempting to track it down, investigating mysterious murder sprees and unexplained events around the world, hoping to maybe sense a whiff of the tome's current whereabouts in great tragedies. It literally can't be destroyed, so it's somewhere. And I think this is, given the amount of time that Tima spent tangled up with Mun and trading books and trading knowledge, I think, Katie, this is something that Pandora knows because Myacnean Mun probably explained this to her.
Talked about it ad nauseum.
Right. So it's a sideways answer that doesn't answer your question, but it gets you thinking on, we might be now tangled up with things that simply cannot be scryed upon. And if Stanhope, oh my God, please, if Stanhope has the Necronomicon in his hands,
The world is over.
he's got the violin,
Just hand it
he's
over
got the
to-
book, we are ready for an adventure.
I want to say, though, that there is, Pandora is aware that not all of her knowledge of this comes from Myacnean Mun. In fact, there are glaringly obvious to her pieces of this story that she has filled in from another source that she does not understand.
Yes.
Possibly from those thousands of lifetimes.
Who can say?
Shrug.
Awesome. I think in that case, basically anything about its time, like any details you're able to think about its time in Zamar, probably came from these other sources. That Myacnean Mun probably was able to dig up a lot of information about its creation and its time up in Ustalov, but that after that, he just basically knew it went south, and the rest of that, Pandora's filling in otherwise. Okay, so scrying failed. We've talked about the Necronomicon. Do we have any other spells we want to cast or other conversations we want to engage in tonight? Or are we looking to start some more stuff tomorrow?
Is it worth, like, what constitutes possession? So is it worth trying to scry Stasi? Like, would she leave herself willing to be scryed, knowing that, so that maybe her insane will save isn't the factor?
Can one do that? Can one choose to fail a will save to be scryed?
I would say probably normally no, but if Stasi was like, I think this is how they're going to get in touch with me, and she felt anything like this, I think it would be fair to say I would let Katie fail a will save by choice if she wanted to. So I would say Stasi can do that too. Sure.
So that's information. If she, I mean, I think Pandora probably thinks she would do that.
If we tried to scry her and we
it didn't
also
work, then we know.
then we're like,
Yeah.
okay.
That's information.
I mean, do we want to spend another hour?
Do you have any
To
more
learn
scry
that?
spells?
Yeah. Do we have anything?
Anything that belongs to Stasi.
Probably not.
Oh, and speaking of belongings, let's just confirm what. So we know the violin is gone. The bag of holding that you filled with all of the food for for weeks and weeks of travel.
The bigger one.
Yeah, Stasi did take that. That is the bag that she took. Because it seems like she left in a hurry and probably didn't know how long she'd be traveling. So I'm sure she was like, they will better to ask forgiveness than permission. Is there any?
If she's going to fail it, she's going to fail it. Like,
true.
It really, we can try to boost it all we want, but we're not banking on her failing it. We're banking on her choosing to fail it.
Yeah.
So
fair
we
enough.
don't really have to boost this. You
Fair
know
enough.
her. You can scry her. If she allows it, she allows it.
Conjure the smell of a cigarette.
Yeah. Under the shadow.
I feel like she's right next to me.
Yeah.
Okay. After another hour of this, the spell fails in a way that feels identical to what happened with Stanhope.
What is going on?
So,
The plot
we
thickens.
could attempt to investigate, ask around, retrace her steps. We could go to Munn's estate, see what he was researching. Perhaps he left it behind.
2-hour walk through the swamp.
Maybe not
We
at
could
night. Maybe
investigate
not at night.
No, right now. I'm saying next moves. We could investigate the dog's teeth for the ship and see what they saw, and perhaps
We got to do
can
this the
retrace
hard way.
them.
Either we go back and follow their steps, or we try to jump ahead and follow Munn.
If we do that tomorrow, I could help us.
Did you have any other? I don't know what you prepped today, Polly. So if you have anything else that you want to throw at us, please feel free.
Well, I happen to know the B shift arbor permit paperwork guy. His name's Glenborn. We could talk to him about what he knows about the ship and kind of interview him about what happened.
B shift, is that like the night shift?
Yeah, so he would be around.
Let's do it.
Yeah. That seems like a lead.
Leads.
Is that the right terminology? Lead? That's a lead, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps we do that this evening. Make a plan for tomorrow. I can assist us tomorrow with, I believe I can. Yes, I believe tomorrow I can assist us all with breathing underwater if it comes to that.
10th level.
Hey, yo. So making your way into the shipyard district. Now, the north end is dedicated to construction, to new ship construction, and Dabba can let you know that there is a ton of security in that part of the district, day and night. The secrets that are employed in the construction of the Imperial Navy ships are closely guarded secrets. The central area is dedicated to commerce. It's where all the merchant ships dock and pier up, and it's like also tons of businesses, and then the southern end of the district is dry dock. It's where ships are repaired, and I think that's where Dabwick's pal Glenborn Havermast. Tell us about, what does he look like? Is he human? Is he halfling?
Let's see here. He's a weathered human male in his mid-60s. He has a look of an ex-sailor turned bureaucrat. Stocky build, windburned skin, crow's feet at the corners of his warm but sharp eyes. His short-cropped gray hair is a little unkempt. He has a bristly mustache. He wears a worn navy blue coat with the collar turned up against the harbor breeze. He carries a leather-bound permit ledger tucked under his arm.
Oh my goodness, Dabwick! I haven't seen you for months. Where you been?
I've been traveling, my friend, and I brought some new people with me to join us in this great city of Casimir, my friends.
Oh, any friend of Dabwick's is a friend of mine.
This is my friend Grip.
Glenborn, good to meet you.
Pandora.
Pandora, quite a name. Good to meet you.
Hello.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Sebastian goes by Bash.
Bash,
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. I'm a hugger. Can I give you all a hug?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
If you must.
I like a good hug.
Hugs all around. A very short one with Gripper since he rolled his eyes.
What can I do for you, Dabs?
We are looking for information about a ship.
A ship.
This would be how many months ago? Was this 2
months.
2 months ago? A ship owned by a
2
man.
months, that's quite a time ago.
I know. I'm going to be asking for you to dig deep into your memory, my
All
friend.
right.
But it might ring a bell. For there was a man named Azerton Lowles was in charge of this ship. He was the muckety muck in charge of the ship, and he had crew on this ship that disappeared. We heard rumors that they were sneaking off in the middle of the
you're
night.
talking about the Aurora, are you?
The Aurora, that's right.
Yeah, I remember that ship. What's
At this point, I would ask that this wonderful character make a will save, because before we came in, I put which extracts I drank.
Yeah.
I drank a Detect Thoughts, and as well as a Tears to Wine.
So mistrusting. This is Dabwick's friend.
That's
We'll
Bash.
save.
Always cautious.
2 on the die, so I'm assuming that's a fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you want to know about the Aurora?
What do you remember? What do you recall?
Well, the owner, that must be the fellow you're talking about. He came aboard alone. Just, I don't know, everyone that saw him said he was weird. Everyone stayed away from him, you know what I mean? Like, had that look on his face like he'd just shove you into the water if you got too close to him.
Oh, if you only knew.
And then, like, nobody left the ship. All these sailors, and I think it came from up north. I think it did the Southern Passage. All these sailors who'd been on the water for God knows how long, months presumably. No prostitutes, no food, no clean bed, no baths. They just stayed on the ship. Extremely bizarre. Everyone thought it was weird. Yeah, and then, well, I know there was some of them what slunk away in the middle of the night. Yeah, I was seen heading out into the district late at night. And then ship left, presumably with whoever else was on there. And we all thought that was the end of that story, but, you know, then people were talking about they seen it out in the rocks. And, it was a storm. And, story is, you know, it sank. I guess the pirates got to it. That's what I heard.
Did you have any? Did you take any note of what they were carrying on them? What was the manifest on the ship?
No, they weren't carrying goods. I remember that. It was just it was a rich man's yacht, you know. It was just a pleasure cruise or something like that. So no, you know, they didn't have to bring any goods ashore for tariffs and taxes and all that stuff.
And they paid in cash, eh?
I guess I don't know. No. It was what's his name? Muckety Muck guy.
Mun.
My Acnean Mun. Yeah, he was in town. He came in next day, took care of it. For whoever the guy was that what owned it, you know. That's weird. Weird time. Then, you know, Mun left us.
What?
He's gone.
Where'd he go off
Gone on a
to?
boat.
What boat?
It's a ship called the Jeroboam, if I remember correctly. There was something. What was that? You know, there's a new harbor master.
No.
Yeah. You know.
What happened?
Oh, my friend. Well, you know there was a civil war.
Civil War?
Yeah, you should get filled in on that, but it's a whole other AP, so maybe I won't do any spoilers. But yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
Play that one day.
It was the the grand day of exaltation, the Emperor had 100 senators murdered. Oh, it was quite a story. Anyway, there's a new leadership, which means, sometimes that's new governmental, new gubernatorial, that's the word, gubernatorial officers. So yeah, new harbour master, Julius Cain's his name, somebody's cousin, I don't know. But he said it was something about that. I don't know, maybe worth talking to him. Like they kept changing its destination or something like that.
Did anyone else ask after this ship or ask you for information? Like a woman wears a hat over one eye, smokes a cigarette, carries a lot of knives.
That's a lot of ladies around here, Debs. I mean, there was a lot, at first there was a lot of interest in Aurora, and people didn't know what was going on. But
are you getting anything off the detect thought?
Nothing that he's not saying. Yeah.
Well, your information's been very helpful. Thank you.
I think someone's maybe creeping in on your territory.
Oh, what's that? What do you mean, territory?
I mean rats, Dabwick.
Oh, yes. I bet there's a lot of rats for me to deal with. It's been a while.
Quite the opposite. District's nearly clean of them.
How's that happened?
Exactly. So if you find out what other little druids are walking around taking care of rats, you send them my way. I can put them on the payroll.
I would be very interested to find out. Thanks for the clue.
And that can only be the end of chapter 153. We'll leave it with that clue and pick up next week.
Get off that with Pat.
Thanks for that clue.
Amazing.
Dark Nexus is produced by Plug & Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's Paizo.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Syrinscape. Check them out at Syrinscape.com. That's Syrinscape.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Derek, Darren, Michaela, J.H., the Biscuit Buddies, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration.
You are a big part of our storytelling as well. And we love it when you help us.
You are, in fact, the antagonist.
And also often the protagonist.
Wow.
The story pal.
Your story pal.
Story buddy.
My name's Rob. I'm the story pal tonight.
Protagonist, antagonist, and lover.
Pratt.